I lived in a little dinky studio apartment. I had a piece of plywood with a couple boxes with a white tablecloth over it. I had a futon over in the corner that was a couch that turned into a bed. I got serious that I'm gonna get rich. I wanted to get money out of the way. So in order to do that is you can't have a high burn rate. Burn rate is your expenses. Getting cars, clothes, going out on the weekends, all this stuff robs cash flow from your business. Even when you start making cash, don't spend it. Reinvest it in your advertising. If you want to make millions of dollars, is cash is queen and king. Because if you got cash, you have power. If you have power, you can do things such as buy advertising, test advertising, and come to conclusion on your conversions faster, stronger. The definition of a working business is a business that works with or without you. It's just in the beginning stages, it's the hardest part, because what's happening is you're trying to do everything at once, and you have to do everything. Power of using a system to create millions of dollars. You see, my stories, I started when I was 19 years old. I had no business knowledge, no business know-how, and I was able to take from what my mentors taught me. As you guys know, Jim Rohn was one of my mentors. I had a gentleman named Mark, another gentleman named TJ, and John, and there's some people that got around me that got the business philosophy in my head. And so what happened is that by the time I was 26 years old, I'm just fast forwarding here, I was able to earn a little bit over $15 million, taxes paid, 10 million in my bank account. Okay, so I was able to go in a 6-year period from basically broke with $100 to my name to over $10 million, a decamillionaire by the time I was 26 years old. And I had to go through some philosophies, learn some things, fall on my ass, do things that normal people wouldn't do. The first thing that I did, and I'm gonna do this on a different podcast, but I'm gonna set this podcast up by telling you, I lived under my means. And this is something I noticed that people, for some odd reason, are just not willing to do. I lived in a little dinky studio apartment. I had a piece of plywood with a couple boxes with a white tablecloth over it. I had a futon over in the corner that was a couch that turned into a bed, because I got serious that I'm gonna get rich. I wanted to get money out of the way. So in order to do that is you can't have a high burn rate. Burn rate is your expenses. Getting cars, clothes, going out on the weekends, all this stuff robs your cash flow from your business. So the one thing Jim Rohn taught me right up front is even when you start making cash, don't spend it. Reinvest it in your advertising. And if you look at my other podcasts, I really dig into, and I'm gonna spend a lot more time on this on future podcasts, so stay tuned. How did I take this 100 and move it into 1,000 and 1,000 into 10,000? What did I do and how did I compound that to be able to have millions of dollars to have for as an advertising budget? I'm gonna teach you all this stuff. I'm gonna do the things that my mentors taught me, and I had to pay a lot of money in some cases. In other cases, I just did the work alongside of them. So you can be alongside of me here on YouTube or wherever you're finding me at today. But the first thing you've got to get clear, if you want to make millions of dollars, is cash is queen and king. Cash is the answer. Because if you got cash, you have power. If you have power, you can do things such as buy advertising, test advertising, and come to conclusion on your conversions faster, stronger. See, the thing about me is, instead of going out there and buying a car, I'd go out and hire more copywriters and hire more designers and put up more sales funnel and throw more traffic at it to see which one converts better. You see, the thing that I would do is I knew, and I know today, that a sales funnel only has a 6 to 9 month run at best. So if you've got something that's generating a ton of cash, the last thing you need to be doing, until you've got a lot of cash like I do today, what you got to do is you got to constantly reinvest, and it's called campaigning. We're not going to talk about that either, but that's how you start getting ahead in life, is you got to live under your means. Now, today's topic is the power of using a system to create millions of dollars, and how I learned the art of system building. Guys, I have my own proprietary CRM. Everyone always asks me, how did you get so big so fast? I built my own contact management system, my own LMS, learning management system, and I built my own lead distribution, autoresponders, you name it. I have it all under one roof. The only thing I have not built Yeah, all the dashboards are automated with the prospecting of the contact manager. We have real-time reporting going on with all of our setters and closers. We don't use Excel spreadsheets. Everything's in-house. Everything is now. But we're going to talk about how I learned the art of system building. And you too, if you're serious, can white label my system. I don't white label it to everybody. I only white label it to people that are serious. It's like I'm the Rolls Royce of contact management. I'm the Rolls Royce of leadership, like LMS. Like I've been doing this since '98. I've been building this since before a lot of you were born. I've been building technology, digital products. I'm the OG of the industry. I'm the Grand Poobah of digital marketing. A lot of you don't know me because I don't need to make money off you. I make money on myself. It just recently, it's like, can you please teach other people what you do? Because a lot of people out here are selling courses that have never done big volume. They sold 50 grand. Maybe they did 500 to $1 million. And then the rest of their life, they're just selling courses to BS people. I'm sorry if you got BS'd by somebody, but I'm the real deal. And I don't need to tell you, I show you by my actions. So I've done over 2 billion in business. Write it down, 2 billion. And how I did 2 billion was I learned the art of building systems, systematic approaches, okay? If you look at the concept of building a business without a system is everyone's just going in different directions. You don't have a process and flow for your sales team. You don't have a process and flow for your setters. Everyone's just seeing what they can do. Setters are on the phone trying to book appointments and confirm appointments. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no philosophy behind it. Closers are on the phone. They get somebody. They're trying to manipulate and trick bag and lie on the phone to try to get a sale. That's not correct. And what's happening is you can get up to, I'm not saying everyone lies, but you know what my point is you can get up to a 50 to 100,000 a month without a system in your organization. But what happens is the wheels fall off. Number one. Number two, you've reached your full capacity where you can't get to the next level. Once you get to 100, you fall back to 50. Because what happens is, number one, and you guys are gonna nod your head if you've watched this and this is happening to you. You're trying to run ads and get the ads to convert. Then you're trying to get the copywriter to give you copy that converts. Then you got to get the containers that actually attract people to read the copy. Then you got to get it all the way through the funnel. Then they got to book an appointment. If that all doesn't work, you've lost money. Then you've got to have a setter set and a closer close. This is an entire sales line that if you don't have this as a system, let me clue you in, which most of you don't, it is going to be the most painful experience you've ever had as a business owner. And a lot of you are nodding your head going, oh, that's me. Or I've got a system, but it's painful. And the reason why it's painful is because number one, you didn't do it to completion as far as automation. And number two, you haven't taught people how to do it without you. So we're going to talk about that. It becomes painful. Let's talk about that just for a minute. The pain of having a business without a system, it's like it's like a water balloon, right? All of a sudden it springs a leak, you're trying to patch this. That's your advertising. You got people that are handling your advertising money called setters and closers. You get one closer that is not reading the outline correctly, but they're kind of the best one you got. They're doing 100,000 for you a month or 25 or 50. And you're kind of like, now they own you because you don't have anybody else but a couple duds besides the one that's just manipulating people and just not reading the script. And you can't teach what they're doing because they're doing something that's not teachable. So it's like what happens is, and I see when I consult people that this is most of the people out there. And when I was taught systems, a gentleman named Mark and a woman named Chris Carley taught me how to put my business into a systematic approach. And what a system is, first off, in marketing it's the art of duplication. Write that down, the art of duplication. Everybody in a certain position doing the same thing every single time. So when you're doing an LMS, right, learning management, your course, people are coming through, they're learning something. Everyone's learning the same thing at the same time. It's like a lesson or a module. The same thing has to happen for your prospecting. So if you start at the very beginning, right? If you're going to be the person that has advertisement going, the first thing you got to make sure you do once you get ads to work is you've got to film a course for your staff on how to do ads. And you got to go, just like a pilot does, all of the checkpoints on getting that plane ready to fly. It's the same thing. Every department needs to have step-by-step training videos that when you hire someone, they sit down, they go through a specific grouping of A, B, C, D videos in order for them to understand the flow and the process. I'm telling you, if you get a system in your business, that's when everything starts to have thrust and lift in your business. Now, let's talk about the most successful system that's ever been had in the world. We all know this system. It's called McDonald's. Why do we all know McDonald's? We drive down the street. I don't eat McDonald's. We all know it's not the best food, but we know what's going to happen. Consistency. It's the same burger every single time. Why? 16 and 15-year-olds can run the franchise. It doesn't require 30, 40, 50-year-olds to run the franchise. Why? Because when you click the red button, Coke comes out. The green button, Sprite comes out. And what happens is it puts it into a situation. Now you can go, oh my gosh, go to the register. You hit a button that says Big Mac. The Big Mac button then puts the monitor in the back and a patty comes out and someone flips it, puts it in a wrapper, puts it in a bag. It's a systematic approach. It's a systematic approach from the time someone comes in, how they feel, to the time they order. The employee clicks the button, it goes to the back, to the grill, and how it hits the bag, the salt that goes on the fries, the way it goes in the bag and gets distributed out the window is a systematic approach. I've been to 90 countries, and one of the things I always do is go to McDonald's, not to eat, but to watch the system. So if you understand that's the power, is you've got to create the McDonald's of your business. Because really the definition of a working business is a business that works with or without you. It's just in the beginning stages, it's the hardest part, because what's happening is you're trying to do everything at once, and you have to do everything. Because if you do everything to success, every department, then the last thing you got to do is you got to do what's called the art of delegation. The art of delegation. Once you've got the system done from start to finish, how your business needs to flow, then what happens is you learn, okay, that you've got to start replacing yourself. And when you start replacing yourself, you've got to understand there's a philosophy with replacing yourself. And that's called, and I'm going to do this on my next podcast, it's called inspect versus expect.